Hello everyone, and welcome to the first installment of this particular YouTube channel, The Counselor's Corner. I'm Daniel Reed. I'm here to help you hopefully navigate through your senior year just a bit. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's start looking at the first question that we're going to be looking at in this video series. What is financial aid? Let me kind of get out of the way here just a bit. Whoop, too small. There we go. All right, so what is financial aid? Well, financial aid is money that helps you pay for college, vocational, or technical school. Now keep in mind that it's not just college. Everyone thinks that, oh, I don't have to worry about financial aid because I'm not going to college. Well, if you're wanting to go to a vocational or technical or a proprietary school, then yeah, you do need to look into financial aid. It's very important because it's how you're going to get money to help pay for those things, unless you want to pay for it all out of your pocket, or unless you want to take out private loans, or unless you have an exceptionally rich Uncle Jimmy John that is not only freaky fast but also has a bunch of money to give away. So that's what financial aid is. It's not just scholarships. It's not just grants. It's a combination of things, which brings me to the next topic of what types of financial aid are there? Well, there are grants, there are scholarships, there are loans. No one wants to talk about those, but there they are, nevertheless. And there's federal work study, and that's one that not many people seem to know about, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more in depth in a moment. First of all, let's talk about grants. What are grants? Grants are free money. It's money that you do not have to pay back. Well, unless there is some sort of a stipulation that if you break the terms of that, of having received that grant, that you must pay it back. So for example, let's say you are given a grant to attend school at, I don't know, the University of Blackstone, Wilson, and Baylor. I'm looking at books in my bookshelf there to come up with names, and they're going to give you this money to go to school there to learn how to do underwater basket weaving. Well, let's say all of a sudden during your freshman year you decide that you don't want to do that. Well, you may have to pay that money back if they say under the stipulations of that grant that you must do it. Now that's usually not the case. Usually what they'll do is prorate the amount that they've given you and just not give you the rest of it. But there could be places out there that do require you to pay the grant back if you do not fulfill the terms of having received it. So keep that in mind. That is a possibility, a slim possibility, but a possibility nonetheless. Some examples, specifically in my state, in the state of West Virginia, would be the West Virginia Higher Education Grant, and you'd be surprised the number of people that they don't really pay a whole lot of attention to that grant, yet it pays for a sizable amount of schooling in our state. More well-known nationally would be the Pell Grant, and these are grants that you get. It doesn't have anything to do with doesn't have necessarily anything to do with merit, which is how well you do in school, but more on need. How much money do you make annually, or how much money do you not make annually, as the case may be, to be eligible for the grants. So keep that in mind. Grants are free money that you don't have to pay back. That's the good kind. Next are scholarships. Scholarships are also free money, and it's money that you do not have to pay back. Well, again, unless you break the terms and agreement, the terms of the agreement with the person who is giving you, or the agency that's giving you the grant. For example, if you go to, let's say you want to be a teacher, and there's a grant in the state of West Virginia, let's just say, that allows you to teach in the state of West Virginia, and they will pay for your schooling, or a substantive proportion of your schooling. but you have to stay in the state and teach for 5 years after you graduate. Well, if you leave 5 years, if you leave before your 5 years are up, well, then they're going to say, whoop, you didn't listen to the terms and agreement. You're breaking our agreement. So now you're going to have to pay this money back. And they probably won't prorate it. So just keep that in mind. That's something. Scholarships, though, those are the ones everyone wants, and everyone thinks that, oh, I've got to get all these scholarships. And it's true, you do. You need to look for as many scholarships as you can, because it's free money. And some examples in the state of West Virginia specifically, well, not all. The West Virginia Promise Scholarship is a specific scholarships relative to the state of West Virginia that's based upon GPA and ACT or SAT scores. In this video, I'm not going to tell you what those are, because depending upon when you're watching this, it may change. It has changed in the past, though not over in the last few years, but it has changed. And if it does change, I don't want to be giving you false information. The Horatio Alger Scholarship is another scholarship. It pays a pretty good chunk of change. I think I'd have to look, but it's like I think it's like $20,000, or it was at one point. And at my small school in the state, we've had 4 or 5 people actually receive the Horatio Alger Scholarship. And then finally, we have a local scholarship at our school that's only specific to our school. That is the Arbuckle Scholarship, and it pays for, it's a full ride to our local college. So again, scholarships are out there. You just need to know where to look for them. Where do you look for them? In your counselor's office. That's where you can find them. With my particular, the way that I do it is, I have them on an email listserv that when they come in, when the scholarships come to me, I instantly email those out to every student. And chances are, if you're watching this video initially, some people, unless they have shared or you're from another school, chances are you may be on my listserv. So, having said that, or maybe you were at one point in time, this is very strange, all this weebly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff with when you might be seeing this. Like, I'm recording it now, but yours, no, I know I'm getting off topic. Okay. So, at any rate, loans. Now, this is the one that people do not want to talk about. Loans are, well, it's almost a dirty word, isn't it? When you come to do financial aid, people don't want to discuss loans. Loans are not free money, and it's money that you must pay back. And students, let me tell you that it is not your parents' loan. It is your loan. You are responsible for paying it back. The thing with a loan is that there are different types. There are direct subsidized loans. There are direct unsubsidized loans. There are direct plus loans, and there are private student loans. Of those, the direct subsidized loans are the ones that are the best. Those are the ones that the government is going to pay the interest for while you are in school. Unsubsidized loans, they do not pay the interest on. And private student loans probably have the highest interest rate of any of those that are listed here. So, if you're looking for a loan, or if your school offers you a loan, try your very best to avoid all of them except the subsidized student loans. Chances are you're probably going to have an unsubsidized loan as well. Nevertheless, keep that in mind. Now, the cool thing about these loans are, you don't, except the private student loans, and I don't have any, that's up to the lending institution, but you don't have to pay these back. You don't start paying them back until 6 months after you leave school. That's the good news. The other little nugget of information that you need to know is that you can never get away from this debt. So, and by that I mean until you get it paid off, you are responsible for it. And even filing bankruptcy will not get you free of having to pay these loans back. And they say, I know what I would do, as they twirl their mustache. They say, I will take out these loans and then I will file for bankruptcy. No, that doesn't work that way. You are still eligible or liable for your student loan debt. So Sorry to foil your plan, but loans are a viable part of financial aid, and you'll be very lucky if you get through school without having to take out a loan. Another type of financial aid that a lot of people do not know about is the federal work-study program. And the federal work-study, basically you have a job on campus. They provide part-time employment, and it's administered by the school. So when you're on campus, you actually, when I was in school, I worked in the education department, and I had a wonderful time. There were people who worked in physical plant, there were people who worked in the cafeteria, people who worked in the library, people who worked just different places all over campus. And so it's dependent upon where the need is at the school. So, that's something to look for. Do not reject the idea of federal work study as a means of financial aid, because what they do is they pay you it's like a regular job. You get a paycheck every few weeks. And that's money that's supposed to be used to help you offset your educational expenses. So how do you get financial aid? That's the big question, isn't it? That's the one everyone wants to know. What's the secret? How can I get the most financial aid possible? Well, it's not that difficult to understand the process. It's sometimes more difficult to get the financial aid because it does take a lot of work. But the first step is you simply fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. Now, I'm going to do another video later in this series on exactly what the FAFSA is and what's required to fill it out. But just know this, it is the most important form that you have to have in order to be able to get financial aid. If you want any type of loan, grant, scholarship, or federal work study, you need to fill out the FAFSA. It's really important. Next, scholarships. You want financial aid, you want money to go to school? Fill out scholarship applications. Apply for as many scholarships as you possibly can. Absolutely, don't just look for them and then do nothing with them. That's not going to help you in the least. What? Oh, yeah, tell them. Be careful about just any old scholarship search on the internet. Some of those scholarship searches may be scams. They may have a website that looks really, really nice, but it may be, they're looking for information to steal your identity. So only use scholarship searches that are well vetted. Make sure that, it's kind of, all you have to do is type in whatever the scholarship search name is, the website, and then in your Google search bar and say, is such and such Daniel Reed scholarship search a scam? And then it will come up and it will tell, then you'll get hits. Yes, don't use this. This is, they're just trying to steal your information. They're just trying to but let's say you have one, for example, FastWeb, and I have no affiliation with FastWeb. I'm just simply, I don't get a kickback from them or anything like that. But I know it's a well-vetted, well-respected scholarship search, so you can use that one. There are many others out there. That's just an example. Daniel Reed does not have a scholarship search, by the way, at all. So apply for scholarships. Again, no one wants loans, but 70% of college graduates, I should have put an S on the end of that, but it's too late now. 70% of people, I actually should just rephrase the whole percent of college, people who graduate from college, graduate with student debt. And this isn't just something I made up. I actually have sources. It's right there. There was and that's in 2018. There's actually a 2020 study about 2019. I think that it went down to 69%. So at any rate, if you get through school without taking out a student loan, you're going to be extremely lucky. As I said previously, go for subsidized loans if you possibly can. Those are the ones that the government pays the interest on while you're in school. And think about a loan as an investment in your future. Don't just think about it as a whole bunch of money that you're going to have to pay back. The the more you invest in yourself and in your education, the more you're going to get back out of it over the course of your lifetime. The more money actually you're going to make over the course of your lifetime. It's it's shown that people who have a high school degree, a high school diploma, make more than over the course of their lifetime than people who drop out of school. People who have a bachelor's degree over the course of their lifetime make more than people who have a high school degree. People who have a master's degree make more than with a bachelor's, and with professional or doctoral degree make more than with master's, generally over the course of their lifetime on average. So invest in your future. Think about it as something that you're going to pay into now that's going to pay you dividends for the rest of your life. Also think about the fact that it builds your credit rating. And credit ratings are, unfortunately, in our society, they are a necessary evil. There's something that you're going to have in order to buy a house, to get a car, unless you buy one off your uncle or something like that, who doesn't care about if you ever pay them back. But nevertheless, it does build your credit rating. Get a job on campus. Again, that is through the federal work-study program. Sometimes some campuses even will hire you even if you are not eligible for federal work-study. They may just have extra money that they have allotted for students to work for them, doing who knows what. Again, I knew people who worked in the library, the cafeteria, all those different places. Each one of them had their federal work-study dollars, and each department had their non-work-study dollars. So when you get to campus, you might want to just simply ask, who manages the work-study programs here at this school? That will be your easiest way to find out where you can get a job, and especially if you're eligible for federal work-study dollars. Be prepared. You may need to fill out an application or do an interview. They may want to see who's best for the job in their department. They may not want someone who doesn't have any ability to they're not able to actually file alphabetically in the filing cabinets. They want to make sure that you can actually do the things that they need you to do. And you may need to provide a resume. Why? I don't know. It's their campus. They're the ones coming up with the criteria, but be prepared. It's always good to have a resume ready when you leave high school. So be ready to have one of those if they do ask for it. And the other thing is on those school jobs, you may just be assigned a job. You go in, you fill out the application. They say, okay, tomorrow you'll report in the physical plant, or tomorrow you report the cafeteria. It's just how the school specifically operates. So make sure you ask those questions about what is required on that particular campus. Finally, all of this, I know it seems overwhelming, but it's not as complicated as it seems. All you need to do is just ask questions. It's just that simple. Go to your school counselor, ask for help. That's what we get paid to do, is to help you sort this stuff out. It's not as if it's some great mystery. It's things that we know and we have helped countless students do. So just simply ask. That's what we are there for, to help you. And also understand that we may not be able to answer some of your questions with financial aid. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial aid advisor. And so I will not answer some questions that are posited to me about financial aid. I will tell people, you need to ask the school. We need to call up the school, and you need to ask them the question that's specific to you. And I have the student do it in many cases, because lots of times the schools won't talk to me, because depending on the question, if it's a very private question that involves your personal sensitive information, they're not going to tell me. Now, I will sit there with you and maybe you can ask me what to ask them, and we would gladly do something like that. But because it's your personal private information, they want to talk to you. So you may need to call them up and ask them questions. But if you need to, ask us for help, and we'll make sure that we do everything that we can, at least at my school. Yes, at my school. I can't speak for any other school, can I? Just at any rate, I'm going to leave you with a quote. Well, that's not good. Can you quote yourself? I don't think I can quote myself. I think that's just sort of, well, that's just not right, is it? If I quote other people. Anyway, financial aid, you won't find it if you don't look for it. That's not just a saying, it's the truth. So, as you ponder financial aid and how to go out and get financial aid, keep in mind that just like going fishing, if you go fishing, you may or may not catch something. If you don't go fishing, you won't catch anything. So, ask questions, let us help, and know that you need to do your part. We'll help any way we can, but you need to make sure you do your part. Fill out the applications. Fill out the FAFSA. The FAFSA becomes available October 1st. Again, we're going to be doing another video on that not too long in the future, I should hope. But do your part. Understand that we are here to help, and we look forward to seeing you in the rest of the videos. Well, I won't actually see them, will I? They'll see me, but I won't. But leave your comments, subscribe, like. I think I'm supposed to say that. Yeah, leave your comments, subscribe, or like, and see you on the flip side.